School's in session, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rent-Free History. I'm your host, Kem Diwosu, and today we've got a special guest.
Hello. Hello.
Tell us your name, sir.
My name is Chad.
Chad, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm wearing this new shirt I got from Target.
Nice salmon.
Yeah, nice
salmon color.
Salmon color.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I feel like it's good to describe things that we're wearing on a podcast where people can't see.
Oh, can't see it?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a white sweater.
White, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I got going on.
Isn't that more grayish? Or are you just...
Let's get into the complexities of this color people can't see.
Yeah. Color blindness.
Yeah.
Speaking of color blindness... No,
where's that going?
I don't know. I don't know where that was going to go. But today's episode...
Let's be careful here. It's not February anymore, bro.
No. Today's episode, we're going to talk about music history in particular. Certain events in music history. We might talk about Britpop wars. We might talk about the Beatles, of course. We might talk about how Beyonce came to be, just stuff like that. You know, just any type of music history that we seem to be really into.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into like specific events, let me ask you, when did you really get into music? Like, what were like the things you listened to when you were a kid, and like how did your music taste change as you got older and older?
Okay. I don't know. I never really, when I was younger, I didn't really associate with music that much. You know, like it was more so like whatever my mom played on the radio on the drive over. But I think in middle school, I really started, like, as soon as I got a Spotify account, pretty much, then my music taste started shaping, you know. I really like indie music, rock music, that whole genre. I've tried expanding, but that's really where my taste lay, you know. How about you?
Yeah, I also did not listen to a lot of music when I was, like, growing up. Like, you know, I'd hear, like, the occasional songs that, like, everyone knew. From time to time, like when I was a kid, my parents used to play a lot of Ray Charles. I was apparently really into that.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I know like the songs that like everyone seems to know, like "Stand by Me."
Yeah. It's like oldies.
"Living on a Prayer," stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, as like each like year passing, I'd know the most popular songs of the year. I would know "Since You've Been Gone," "Teenage Dream," "California Girls," Tonight." They're mainly just pop songs.
Yeah, pop songs.
That's what was popular when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like rap is the kind of like the genre mainstream now.
Okay. Yeah.
But I would say that I was still really into pop, and then I started listening to like kind of like a bit of everything. Like after high school, because in high school I would say I was mainly listening to pop music or sad music because I was like 14, so I'd listen to Weezer when I was depressed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had your emo phase.
Yeah, I did that. I did My Chemical Romance.
Oh, I love MCR. Yeah.
Yeah. Who got together? Little history detail because of 9/11.
9/11. Yeah.
Before that.
Gerard was working at Cartoon Network. Yeah.
And this weird cartoon, which like he never really had like a pilot for it, but it was just a bunch of drawings, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna get this like greenlit someday." And then 9/11 happened. He's like,
time to start a band.
Yeah, time to start a
band.
band.
Then he ended up making Umbrella Academy actually.
Umbrella Academy. Oh.
Yeah. He made the comic book for it.
Oh, okay.
And now he's a producer on the Netflix show. Yeah. Very talented guy. Yeah.
And they're not together anymore, right?
Oh, no. MCR's together, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They haven't made new music for, like, a while, but they're playing shows, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I had tickets to one of their, like, reunion concerts when they, like, first announced that they were getting back to tour, and then COVID hit, and then those tickets weren't really useful anymore.
Yeah. Did you get your money back, or?
Yeah, I got my money back.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's a little bummed, but, you know.
I feel like everyone was like right when COVID hit, and like all the concerts are canceled, and they were pretty much canceled for like a good year.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I think concerts started again like late 2021. I remember the big one that like everyone was talking about the end of 2021 was the Kanye Drake like reunion
Oh,
concert.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even like know that there were like tickets to that like available, but I saw some girl that I went to high school with like go to one of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that amazing.
Yeah, I feel like that would Kanye and Drake fans. It seems like a interesting crowd right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because on one hand you have like Drake, better known as Aubrey Graham from Degrassi.
Aubrey, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, his real name is Aubrey Graham. He was Jimmy on Degrassi.
Jimmy. That's
Wheelchair Jimmy.
Wheelchair Jimmy. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Drake fans are usually like they're chill people, but
Yeah.
I think the fact that they like Drake, they think that they have this like elevated music sense.
Yeah.
When really it's just like pop music.
Yeah.
And that's fine, you know. But
I do get it. Like I cringe a little bit sometimes when people say like, "Oh, like who's your favorite artist?" Oh, Drake.
Drake.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I feel like this term's like overplayed, but it's like NPC music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they're like really big and nothing was the same and like stuff like that, but like I don't know. I don't really like his new stuff anymore. I don't really listen to him all that much, anyways.
I think it's cool that he's like trying different genres.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like a little. He's like losing touch, so he's just trying new stuff to stay relevant.
Yeah.
It's not out of like a artistic drive. You get me?
There's a similar thing that my best friend Riley he said about Kevin Hart once, where it's like you can't be
short.
the funniest like the comedian and then also be like a movie star, like one of those most successful movie stars.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You can't do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to music, I feel like my music taste kind of like evolved over like I would say the end of high school to beginning of college to start of COVID. I listened to a lot more rap music. I would listen to a lot of Kanye, Kid Cudi. I was honestly like, there was this period in 2021 where I was just going through albums. Like I was like a day because I used to have this really long commute where I would commute. I didn't have a place
so you pick
to stay.
the album for the day and listen.
I would listen to the entire thing.
I think that's honestly probably the best way to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like started like listening to all different types because I have my soul, I have like rap, rock and roll, all different time periods, different genres, and I feel like it evolved completely when I started working at Red Robin.
Oh, okay.
Because
they play a lot of music there.
Well, no, I was the dishwasher, so I had a speaker.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to like make playlists of stuff that I would want to listen to.
And then other people are listening to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would say like, "Oh, like I really like this stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, and I do. I really like it too. So I'm going to keep playing it."
I have a funny story about when I was working at a restaurant, the dishwasher, who's like this older gentleman, you could tell he's been through a lot, and he played like a lot of like Black Sabbath and like that kind of stuff, and that was the first time I really like listened to like deep cuts from them, not just like the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of my music taste got expanded too when I was working at a restaurant.
Also, just being around different generations of people at a restaurant, like you're gonna learn like a lot music wise.
Yeah.
Especially like stuff you didn't like know or appreciate. Or you just like think, for example, like before this they just didn't have this. Like for example, before MTV, like there were like a few music videos out. Like that wasn't.
I think about that a lot. Like it's this whole thing about like a monoculture. Like back in the day, you only had a few different streams of music, so there really was a mainstream and then like an underground. Nowadays, like there's so many different genres, so many different ways that you can find music that like everyone's gonna have a different music taste. There's no like singular like type of music that everyone knows. You get me? Yeah. So, and I think there's good thing and bad things about that.
Yeah. Because it used to be great when like everyone talked about like the same albums to some degree, because we were all like, "Oh, this is so good," or "This is so bad."
Yeah.
But, like,
well, like think about like when the Beatles came out. Like I think it was like 60 or like a majority of the American population watched their like when they played live on that. I think it was like the Ed Sullivan show. That's never gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna be on the same page of music like that again.
Because you don't usually, like, well, first you'd have to have a time where there was only 3 ways people could watch a show.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'd have to have appointment television, which no one has anymore because of streaming.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to have a specific show that just showed off music acts, which no one does anymore because you can just look up the cut clips on YouTube.
Yeah. So like, no one's gonna be as huge as the Beatles were, obviously. I mean, I feel like Taylor Swift is like pushing on that lately.
I don't know. I only it's
think
not
so,
because
yeah.
I don't like Taylor Swift,
Mhm.
but like when I think of like
Yeah, you gotta be careful there, bud.
when I think of like the Beatles or I think of Michael Jackson, I think of one story in particular. There was this for example, Michael Jordan. Not Michael Jordan. Michael
Different
Jackson
Michael.
was shooting the music video for "They Don't Really Care About Us,"
Mhm.
and he filmed a part of it in I think it was Brazil or some South American
Oh,
country.
did he like get like a warlord or something like that?
Yeah,
To, like...
the basically the cartel that was running the city at the time
Mhm.
was like such a Michael Jackson fan that he's like, yeah, you can put like a bag of money in the street and no one will touch it because
It's Michael.
yeah.
And who can blame him?
Yeah.
You know. Damn. Yeah. Oh.
Nah, we can say it. You can say that.
Okay, I could say that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's I think it's gonna be interesting to see how like music evolves, especially genre-wise. You know, there's not pop music anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and even the pop music that comes out, it's pop music because it wants to be pop music, not because that's just what the sound is. You know. So I think it's gonna become much more creative in the future, but it's also gonna be you're not gonna have these big groups anymore. you
Yeah.
know?
I'm trying to think. What was like the last like this is the biggest group ever?
I don't know. Maybe Black Eyed Peas, something like that.
I guess.
I think there's some country musicians that are pretty big.
Yeah. I know the Country Music Awards gets a lot of views.
Yeah, which, you know, country music, teach their own.
I mean, you got your Blake Sheltons, which I only know because of The Voice
Mm.
and because he's married to Gwen Stefani,
Yeah.
who used to go to this school
Yeah.
and performed with her band, No Doubt.
Yeah.
Like, there's a video of it from like 1994,
Yeah.
and she's like, it's so weird hearing her say Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah. Well, she grew up in Fullerton or
Yeah.
like in Anaheim.
Yeah, No Doubt was like an Orange County band.
Yeah. So.
It would have been really cool to like see them live and stuff like that, and kind of like watch them like progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, there's gonna be like a band coming up right now around here,
Yeah,
filling that void. You know,
could be you.
could be me, huh?
Yeah.
Or us, yeah.
I think we can. This is a good time to talk about. You mentioned the Beatles. The Beatles
Sure.
are, of course, everyone knows the Beatles.
Love the Beatles.
This
Beatles.
documentary came out.
Get Back.
Get Back.
Get Back. Get Back's such an interesting look at like the creative process of like 4 super talented people at the peak of their powers. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about it?
I thought it was interesting. One, like, I think it's amazing how Peter Jackson, who made the documentary, he was able to. It's like the only like thing I think AI should be used for like basically old footage.
To like
Because
update it or whatever.
you could take like he took because the Get Back is actually the second time that footage has been used. Originally, it was used for a different documentary called Let It Be, named of course after the album.
Yeah.
And that documentary was more about how the Beatles like didn't like each other because that's the way they kind of framed it.
Yeah.
And this one's more about like how like they struggle, but they're still like they like are friends at the end of the day, and how it's like so difficult and complex to be these people sometimes.
Yeah. Because, you know, they were just kids and then they exploded.
They're literally like they were recording their songs when they were our age.
Yeah. But they were like, what? 25, 27?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah. And like just like watching them like come up with these songs, like riffing and then figuring everything out. It was so cool. It's like really like inspiring, I think. Even though it's like, what, like 4 hours long or something like that? Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's cut up into episodes.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed watching it. I think I've watched it like 2 or 3 times. You know, it's a great thing to put on the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also just love like the parts where they're just kind of like messing around with each other. Like you just like you don't get that in documentaries sometimes. Just like people just like relax. They're very down to earth people.
Yeah, like you can tell they were friends. You know. So.
Also, can we just say Yoko Ono? You can say she's maybe one cause, but she is not the reason the Beatles broke up.
People hate on Yoko
Yeah.
so much. I think she's like a really interesting creative force, and people don't realize like she was part of this whole like art scene in the 60s and 70s, and you know, that's what John Lennon was trying to tap into. And like the screaming and stuff like that, you can think it's weird, but there is like an artistic element to it.
Yeah.
That maybe our perception doesn't really work out that well.
I'm sure if we grew up around that time and were in that scene, it would make more sense to her.
Yeah.
To us.
Because where was she from?
She was from. I want to say
She was Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she came over to America. I know she had an accent though. Like I feel like she was like from like maybe the UK or something.
Okay.
But I can't be 100% sure.
No, I think she was Japanese, and then she came over to New
US?
York.
Oh, New York.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, before she even met John Lennon, she was very like well known in the art scene, like really well respected. And then I think like she just has this perception now that she broke up the Beatles, which some people say it's sexist, and then, you know, it's Women's History Month.
Yeah.
You
gotta cut that out.
Yeah, I gotta cut that out. Yeah. Makes me so angry. Yeah.
Speaking of women, actually.
Speaking of women.
I want to, you know, since it is Women's History Month, we should highlight some of our favorite female artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A popular band that, you know, has a lot of like female singers, Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Well, they have one female singer, and then they have a female instrumentalist. I forgot what she played.
Oh, Christine. Can't remember her last name.
I'm not too familiar with Fleetwood Mac.
Oh.
I just know like the main points. They were like cheating on each other the whole time.
Yeah, they were like, yeah.
Great music though.
Great music though.
Yeah.
They actually made a show like somewhat related. It's called like Daisy Jones and like.
Oh, is that based off of it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've been meaning to watch it. Yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime for those of you who. Little plug for them. Yeah. Also, another little history fact, if you didn't know, Pat Benatar.
Oh yeah.
You know, Invincible, Hit Me with Your Best Shot.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband plays the guitar on Jesse's Girl.
Really?
Yes.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's wild. Yeah, small world. Yeah.
Another group we could talk about, Oasis. You mentioned before we started this podcast the whole Brit
Battle of Britpop.
Battle of Britpop. It was Oasis and it was another group. What was the other group called?
Blur.
Blur.
So they had this. You probably heard this song. It's called Song 2 actually. It's good.
Song 2.
Woohoo! It's just that. Yeah, no, they have a lot of cool songs. So this all happened in like 1995, and Britpop was sort of the UK's response to grunge movement, you know, like Nirvana and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the two big bands to come out of it were Oasis and Blur. And Oasis was from Manchester, which is more of like a working class background.
Mm-hmm.
So their music was like more down to earth, more like, you know, for the working man type deal. And then Blur was more artsy, a little bit more, you know, their songs were like stories, and they were seen more of like a London band and a little pretentious in some ways.
Okay.
So then in 1995, these two bands were releasing a single on the same day. And, you know, the notorious British tabloids set this up as the Battle of Britpop. And whoever was going to sell the more singles that day, you know, were going to be the winners. And Oasis won.
Yeah, because up until this point, I don't think you mentioned, I'd never heard of Blur.
Blur? You've heard of Blur. Have you heard of the Gorillaz?
Yes.
So the frontman of Blur went on to form the Gorillaz.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
I hope he feels good about that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah, I just thought it was like a really interesting story. Yeah.
Another band we can talk about. How much do you know about Queen?
Queen, I know a decent bit. I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie actually made me hate like movies about like people like
Biopics, yeah.
Because it's so inaccurate, and I feel like they didn't have to do like the way they do it, because like not all movies like when you just like try to cover an entire band's like career, it doesn't work that well, because you're like, you can never focus on one individual thing,
especially when two of the still living members are producers on the album and have control, or the movie,
because they want to protect their image.
Yeah, and if you watch that movie, you notice that Brian May and then the drummer, I forgot his name, Roger Taylor, they're in the movie a whole bunch. They're always like joking around, like they're main characters, and then the bassist has like 2 lines.
John Deacon.
Yeah. And like I'm sure he played a bigger part, because Queen's bass lines are really important to their music.
Yeah,
you know, so yeah.
It does suck. I also heard that originally Sacha Baron Cohen was who played like Borat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was originally supposed to be Freddie Mercury.
I can't see that.
He does look a little bit like him.
I think they're both like, because why am I forgetting his name? The guy from Queen.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. He was Pakistani.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're both.
His name's actually Farouk Balsada.
I think they're both like the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I can kind of see it, but I think Sacha Baron Cohen can be a good actor. I can't remember like a
performance where it was
serious
like
role. Yeah, but I'm sure he can. You know.
I mean, I will say this about him: he's really good at like doing different characters, because like none of them are really the same. You've got like Bruno. You've got Ali G.
Ali G, classic.
Yeah. So it's not like he's like a one-note type person. So I don't think it's impossible. I actually think it would have been very interesting to see how he would have portrayed him.
Yeah.
But the only reason he dropped out was apparently the original thing of the movie was going to go like halfway through Freddie dies, and then
it's going to follow the rest of them.
Yeah, which no one. Really
they're the
wants.
least important part of the story. Yeah.
Weirdly enough, Freddie in that movie, like the whole like thing about like him getting his own solo album and like breaking up the group for a little bit, he was like one of the last people to get a solo album. Brian May actually was the first one to get a solo album.
Yeah, I feel like they really like fumbled that story.
Yeah,
a whole bunch, and I can't believe that movie won an Oscar for best editing, because it has some of the best worst editing I've ever seen. It's so bad. Yeah.
I also can't believe Rami Malek won for Freddie Mercury when he doesn't even sing.
I mean, I feel like Rami Malek is like he is a great actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I feel like he probably deserves it, but maybe not for that role.
Yeah,
and then his career has not gone anywhere after winning that Oscar.
Yeah, he was in that James Bond movie, and then really I haven't seen him in anything.
He's been in like 5 minutes of Oppenheimer, and then that's it, you know. So
I also what I think is probably one of the best biopics out there was I don't know if you saw Steve Jobs with Michael Fassbender.
I have not. No.
It's really good. So basically, I don't know if you saw the other one with Ashton Kutcher. So basically, once Steve Jobs died, they were like, we got to make a movie about this guy, and they rushed one out, and it was just like the Queen one, basically, where they cover all the events of his life.
Yeah.
And they don't focus on one particular thing, with Ashton Kutcher, who looks a lot like Steve Jobs, but isn't very good at like acting.
Yeah, he's more like a comedy.
Yeah. And they made another one a couple years later, made by Aaron Sorkin, called just Steve Jobs. The first one was called Jobs, but the Steve Jobs one is really good.
Okay.
And instead of focusing on like various events, they focus on 3 key events in his life. They focus on the launch of the Macintosh in 1984, the launch of the NeXT computer in 1988, and then the launch of the iMac in 1998. And by focusing on these 3 events, they kind of like
They can
focus
paint his entire life by just
those 3 events and like the people that he like because it's a stressful thing. It's a big event.
yeah.
And like all the people that come in to like interact with him throughout the day of the event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is like Seth Rogen in it? I feel like I've
Yes,
seen a
he
clip
is
with
Woz,
Seth.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Steve Jobs, if I'm being honest.
He's not like a great person.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
And then have you seen like that? I think it's some comedian. He's like, Steve Jobs didn't make the iPhone.
Yeah.
Or something like that. You know?
Oh yeah, Bill Burr.
Yeah,
He's
Bill
like,
Burr.
Was
yeah.
he there soldering, possibly welding?
No, yeah. Like I feel like a lot of the really smart people that figured all that stuff out, they're getting ignored because Steve Jobs was this character.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I mean, he was a character.
Yeah.
He was Apple's Jesus.
Jesus, he was. And speaking of Jesus, and another fun fact that was about the Beatles. One time, John Lennon said that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
It was taken out of context, but it did not bode very well for the band at the time.
Would you hear about when they were in? I think it was the Philippines. Whatever, I think it might have been the president or like the king of the Philippines or something like that. Important person wanted to meet the Beatles, and they were doing their concert, and they're like, we can't do that. We can't like go from our concert to go meet the head guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he banned the Beatles from the Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
So.
Interesting. It's like, you won't come to my party? Well, you're not invited.
Exactly, yeah. So. And I think Paul McCartney got caught with some weed in one of those countries.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I don't see how it's a big deal or something like that.
Just a little weed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever hear about the Paul is dead theory?
Yes, I have.
I think that's so interesting that just like, so anyone who doesn't know the Paul is dead theory, there's a theory that in 1966, after an argument with the Beatles, Paul drove off in a rush and got into a car accident that he was killed on impact. The Secret Service immediately, or the ISS, whatever the Secret Service is called in Britain, basically was like, yo, John, George, Ringo, you need to like replace Paul, because if like everyone hears that he's died, there'll be mass hysteria.
Mm-hmm.
So they immediately found someone named Billy Shears in a Beatles lookalike contest, and had him get facial surgery and grow a mustache to cover up like the surgery basically. And at the same time, the Beatles stopped performing live and switched to recording just their albums, and that was it.
There are like some like really like interesting like light switches.
Yeah, the light switch turned off.
Oh yeah.
Let's just pause this for a second.
Okay.
Let's go to a brief commercial break.
Yeah.
And we're back. I hope you all enjoyed that commercial. Not sure what it was, but I'm sure it was interesting. So anyways, back to the Paul McCartney theory. There's a lot of good, like you were saying, there's a lot of good like actual like things that people have used.
I could see how someone would believe it, you know? In the Abbey Road album cover, everyone has shoes on.
Except Paul.
Except for Paul, he's got them dogs out. What does that mean? It means he's dead and he's been replaced.
Yeah. Or this is actually where the whole playing music in backwards to get a message came from, because there's one song where everyone thinks they can hear Paul is dead, Paul isn't dead, man, something like that.
Is it Revolution 9?
I think it might be Revolution 9.
Yeah.
And then there's on the Sgt. Pepper's cover, there's like a sign that says like,
he has like a patch on, and it says like or it's like dead on arrival or something. It was something that like the military would put on dead soldiers or something like that.
Yeah, basically. But to debunk all of those, the patch, whatever it said on it, like is actually like code word for like the police, I think, in that in Britain or whatever. And then also another fun fact, ABC News in America reported on this. There is actual footage of ABC News. They fell for it.
They thought Paul was dead?
Yeah, in 1969. That's when this theory started, in 1969.
Oh, okay.
Because there was a guy who was writing, a college student who was writing for the paper for Abbey Road, the release.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know what? I'm going to do something a bit more interesting rather than just like the simple like
album review or whatever.
Yeah, album review. I'm going to come up with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened.
That's wild.
And, you know, the rest is history.
I think it's fun, you know, even if it's not true. I think just the intriguingness about that whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, conspiracy theories, they're harmless. I enjoy them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there are any other really big music conspiracy theories. I don't think so.
There's gotta be.
There's got to be. Another big musical person, you could say Michael Jackson. We already talked about Michael Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
Big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Very popular. I don't know if people will be as popular as he was in like the 80s and 90s like ever again.
No,
because we don't just like we don't have celebrities like that anymore.
Mm-mm. Well, like I said, Taylor Swift, dude, pretty close. But I feel like she doesn't appeal as broadly as Michael Jackson
I feel like
does.
Michael Jackson cast like a wider net than Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Michael Jackson was more like everyone knows Billie Jean, everyone knows Beat It.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift, I guess you could say like a love song, Never Getting Back Together.
She's
Bad
got
Love.
pop songs, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like her audience is definitely more selective, and I would say they're more crazy about her than probably Michael Jackson fans were about him, you know?
Yeah.
More dedicated audience, but a little smaller, you know?
I wonder what it is. I wonder if it's because they see themselves in her, maybe?
Well, I think she's just, she writes good lyrics, you know? And then there's also, like, the whole social aspect of being a Taylor Swift fan, you know, like the bracelets and, you know, talking about who she's dating and stuff like that. Like, there's I could see why people enjoy it, you know? And objectively, pretty good music for a pop star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another really good musician. Ooh, I know a great thing we'd talk about, the Disney Pop Star Factory that started as a result of the Disney Channel. Because first you have Hilary Duff on Lizzie McGuire. They have her release an album, and they promote it. They don't even have to really do all that much promotion because they're like, you know, they release it. She's already really big because of the Disney Channel because of Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
And does really well. Does a second, does a third, keeps doing this. I mean, Lizzie McGuire ends at some point. But then they do the same thing with Raven. They do, I think her first album was called That's So Raven.
Just like off the show?
Yeah, basically it was just a bunch of songs. And I think she performed a couple songs on the show, which also really helped.
Well, that's like, because I only really know about like Hannah Montana because my sister was obsessed with that.
Yeah.
So
that was the peak, actually.
I think, yeah.
Another fun fact, Hannah Montana started as a backdoor pilot for an episode of That's So Raven.
Really?
And Miley Cyrus was not on it. It was a different show, but the concept was basically Raven worked for a show where a girl was an actress. She was either an actress or a pop star. I can't remember which one. But she had like a double life, basically.
Yeah.
Where she would like be one person on stage and then another person in her actual life.
Which, honestly, it's such like a great premise for a show for like kids because they can imagine themselves changing and becoming a pop star themselves.
Yeah, because kids play dress up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, lightning in a bottle.
I mean, then you got Selena Gomez with Was a Waverly Place. She released albums too. Demi Lovato, probably their biggest success.
Really?
I would say so. I feel like she was most mainstream, to be honest.
Okay, because I can't really remember, Demi Lovato songs.
I
feel like she's like the the star with the most troubled
Yeah.
presence nowadays. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else seems to be doing relatively well. But I think she's on like the road to recovery.
Yeah.
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 That's all you can really hope for.
Mm-hmm.
Nickelodeon, however, failed at this.
Mm.
They literally picked like all the wrong people to become pop stars. Like, for example, like Drake Bell, say what you want about him, but he was like legitimately like successful like independently.
You know, he's like really big in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Drake Campana now.
Drake Campana.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. He only speaks in Spanish now. Like, he just tweeted out like a couple years ago. He was
Hasn't
like,
he
I'm
done
only
some
yeah,
questionable stuff?
questionable stuff,
Yeah.
which might also be revealed in the Quiet on Set documentary.
Oh, is that about Drake and Josh?
It's about like Nickelodeon child stars. Basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like actually, the highest rated episodes of Drake and Josh, if I'm correct, are episodes where he performed his songs on the show.
Mm.
They never signed him to a contract.
Really?
Miranda Cosgrove, I think she had a couple albums, but they just didn't market her well.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria Justice, so basically they had her on Victorious.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like the best singer on the show, of course, because Ariana Grande and also Elizabeth Gillies was a very good singer.
Who is she? Is she the goth
Jade,
one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Who also it's really sad because she's dating or she's married to now the guy who wrote the song "Freak the Freak Out."
I have no idea. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, you don't know that song?
No.
Oh, it was a big thing in 2010.
Okay.
If you were a Nickelodeon kid. But, were you not a Nickelodeon kid or?
I was probably more like a Disney kid. Whatever my sister was watching, you know. Yeah.
I feel like I fluctuated between the three, to be honest.
Okay.
I did prefer Cartoon Network though because there was less singing.
Yeah, I was Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
I was really big into Adventure Time.
Adventure Time.
Yeah.
I remember I was so happy when like Mondays would come around because I would get to stay up until like 8:15, 8:30, and I was like, all right, I have time to watch Adventure Time and regular show, and then I get to go to bed. Yeah.
Damn. That's a core memory right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember before that it was like Chowder, Flapjack, Total Drama. Do you remember that show?
I never got into those shows. I was in Adventure Time and regular show were my camp.
I remember I was actually not allowed to watch regular show for a little bit because there was one episode where Mordecai went, "You pissed me off," and my mom heard, and she was very upset. She was like, "Clean that all." My dad was like, "Clean that all off the TV. You will not watch that anymore." Said the same thing about The Simpsons because
I've actually never watched The Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say if you do watch the early seasons because it's not even the same show anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I feel so uncultured. Like I don't really know too much about SpongeBob either. And some of my friends, they have like an encyclopedic knowledge of every SpongeBob episode. They'll be like, "Remember when Patrick flew that airplane?" And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Or they'll be making jokes, like inside jokes about the show.
You can't fly an airplane underwater, but
they have airplanes for sure. In SpongeBob.
Yeah. They do light fires multiple times underwater.
Yeah. I feel like their logic's not really consistent. Yeah. How did we get to cartoons?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I was talking about Nickelodeon for some reason, but oh well. Yeah, Cartoon Network, they never had anything musical-wise. They did have this one musical show, Andre 3000, if you know him from Outkast. He had this show called Class of 3000. It was like where he was like at this music school and he was the teacher. And I actually don't remember it all that well, but I remember it being very good. It was very good.
Andre 3000.
Andre 3000. Outkast, man.
Did you listen to his new album?
I did. I listened to a couple songs. I had to skip the 12-minute long one because, I didn't just want to listen to wind chimes for 12 minutes, but it's very peaceful.
Yeah. Apparently, like, I've heard stories of, like, people running into him just, like, on their own. And he's, like, supposed to be, like, just, like, a really nice, genuine, artsy guy, Which Outkast, I feel like if you're not into, like, hip-hop or stuff like that, perfect, like, intro for that.
Yeah. Let's take a brief pause. All right, I hope you guys liked that commercial. It was a good one. I think it was about the Ducks.
I really liked that commercial that just played.
Yeah, that was a very good commercial that
really
we definitely
resonated
listened to.
with it.
Yeah. Anyways, we talked a lot about music history. We got off track a little bit, but I think the overall goal is, or the overall message that we wanted to teach everyone in this episode is you can't touch music, but music can touch you.
It's also a sound and not a physical thing.
Yeah.
So you can't really touch it anyway.
Yeah. Well, it really does feel like a physical thing sometimes because it does move you.
Mm-hmm.
Both emotionally and physically.
It's one of those things where it's like it exists in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy that just different vibrations just cause us to hear like that.
Well, it's like what do you see in your head when you listen to music?
I usually, if I know the song pretty well, I see the music video, or sometimes I'll think of a scenario in real life that has already happened.
Okay, because a lot of people I talk to, they're like, yeah, I make a little music video in my head when I really focus on the music.
Yeah.
But then I've talked to people and they're like, I see dance moves.
Really?
Yeah. Or musicians too, they actually see visualizations of playing that music, which is a hard thing to imagine, but that's how they interpret the music, which I find really interesting. Just how people comprehend stuff,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Music is a wonderful thing, and so is this show, and so are you, Chad.
Thank you. You too, buddy.
Thanks. Thank you again for being on this episode. You were already on a previous episode where we talked about a cereal.
Yeah. That was a.
I was definitely.
I learned a lot about cereal that day.
Yeah. That was one of the most episodes of all time.
Oh yeah, the mostest.
Yeah. All right. Thank you to everyone who's listening. I hope you have a great day.
Bye.
Goodbye.